Thank you for joining us for this virtual conversation about Be Internet Legends from Google and Parent Zone. Today we're going to be talking about helping your children to be more confident and safer online. My name's Chelsea and I'm part of Parent Zone's Be Internet Legends team. I've been teaching this in primary schools for about 3 years now, and I'll be stopping to respond to your thoughts and questions as we go along. We've also got our expert Tim in the chat box, so feel free to pop any question that pops into your head. There is no such thing as a bad question. In fact, I might ask you some questions as we go along, so make sure that you've got those typing fingers ready. Now, just before we start, I want to check that you can see me and the pictures around me too. If the quality of your video isn't that good, I'd recommend pressing refresh in your browser. And then whether you're watching on a phone or a tablet or a computer, you'll notice a cog in the bottom right hand of your screen. So if you click on that and select quality, you can adjust it there, and that'll help depending on whatever your Wi-Fi or your data can cope with. So this whole session will take about 30 minutes. I'll spend the first few minutes explaining what Be Internet Legends is and why it's more important now than ever. Then we'll move on to the Legends Code. So the Legends Code is the 5 most important things for your children to remember when they're online before moving on to digital wellbeing. So that bit will take about 10 to 15 minutes, and there'll be loads of opportunities for you to ask any questions and share any experiences. Finally, we'll finish off with some fantastic resources, including our fantastic, amazing game called Interland and the next steps that you can take from home. So without further ado, grab yourselves a broom, get yourselves comfy, and we will begin. In a nutshell, Be Internet Legends is an internet safety programme developed by experts for schools and families. We've been teaching this in schools across the UK for 3 years now, with a mix of interactive assemblies, really fun lesson plans and a great online game. And we're still doing all that now virtually. So what we want to do today is help you with some of the tips and the techniques that we've developed for Be Internet Legends, and thinking about how you can use them at home with your children if you want to. And Be Internet Legends is all about sharing, so do feel free to tell us about any experiences you've got and all the things that are working for you at home when it comes to supporting your children and their tech use. So pop any experiences and questions in that chat box. So let me tell you a bit more about Be Internet Legends. It's a programme that covers the most important skills and behaviours that children need to be safer and more confident online. So we break this down into easy to remember things about internet safety, ways to develop healthy digital habits, and ideas to make sure they're confident explorers of the online world. Right now, I know you're juggling a lot of things at once. You might have your kids at home whilst trying to work, and of course you're trying to stay in touch with your friends and family. And as the situations in school have been changing, you might have one of your children still in school for some of the time and another one of your children at home. It's a really tricky time, but you're not alone. 1.5 billion children across the world have been at home because of the pandemic, and each of those families will have their own normal. So I'd love to hear what your new normal looks like and maybe where you're watching from. So do feel free to say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from, and any questions, let us know. I'll be looking in that chat box in a few minutes, and we've also got Tim in there who is waiting to respond. But I just wanted to share with you a question that we've had a lot in the last few months, and it's this. Is it okay for children to spend more time gaming in lockdown? And what we always say is it's okay to relax some of the rules, as long as you're keeping an eye on how it's making them feel and making sure that they've got a good offline and online balance. So wherever you are right now and whatever your normal looks like, Be Internet Legends is here to help your children use the internet safely and more confidently whilst keeping an eye on their digital wellbeing at the same time. So we're looking into it all now in a bit more detail. The programme includes a full internet safety curriculum, and it's been developed with help from psychologists, children's charities, education experts and the police. So our research told us that we needed to focus on 5 simple messages. So we created this, the Legends Code. So this is the 5 most important things for your children to remember when they're online. So I'm going to go through each one now. We've got be internet sharp, think before you share. Be internet alert, check it's for real. Be internet secure, protect your stuff. Be internet kind, respect each other. And be internet brave, when in doubt, discuss. Now, before I pause to look in the chat, I just want to introduce you to the digital wellbeing part of Be Internet Legends. So we encourage children to think about how technology is making them feel, the positives and the negatives, to help them really reflect on their screen use. And this can be really helpful, especially now as they're spending more time online, and it might even help save some of those screen time squabbles that you might be having. Okay, I'm going to have a little look in the chat. Nothing there at the moment, that's not a problem. Don't be shy, do say hello. Any questions, pop them in there, but whilst you're having a little think and seeing if you've got any questions for me, I'm going to unpack the Legends Code in a bit more detail. So first, we've got be internet sharp, which is think before you share. So this one's all about managing your privacy and protecting your personal information online. We always tell children to think before they share anything on the internet. And whilst they're at home, children might want to share more than they normally would, but it's just as important that they're as careful as ever. And this also applies when they're having video chats, that they must be making sure that there's nothing in the background that they wouldn't want somebody else to see. Now, you can help your children to be internet sharp by having a conversation with them and think about the information that is okay to share and what information should be kept private. And really break it down with your children, because you might have some information what's okay to share with your close family, and then other information that you're happy to share with close friends and friends, and then thinking about different types of information you might want to or not want to share with maybe some friends that you game with online, and then the wider online community, so anyone who can access that information. So break it down and come up with what's comfortable for you and your family about what you're sharing and who with. So, second part of the code is be internet alert, and this kind of gives the kids the skills to be their online detectives. So it's all about spotting the clues that something might be fake, or it might be misleading, or something might even be a scam. So in the assemblies, we teach children to check on any link before clicking on it. Having a look in the address bar and seeing if there's a padlock in there. Now, if there is, it's a good sign that that website is more secure and safer to use. And we always tell the children to check with you as their trusted adult if they're ever unsure of anything they see online. Now, there are a lot of scams and misleading news stories going around during the pandemic, but we find when kids know the tips and tricks, they can often spot them a mile away. Next part of the code is be internet secure. So this one's all about protecting your stuff and keeping your personal information safe online. So there are some really simple security things you can do at home, like creating a mega strong password. So a mega strong password needs to have a mixture of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, symbols and numbers. And there needs to be more than 8 letters, numbers or symbols. It's also really important we talk to the children about how a password needs to be easy for you to remember, but really, really tricky for somebody else to guess. So it's no good having the name of your pet or your favourite sports team, because that is just too easy. We always talk to children as well about once they've got their password to keep it to themselves, so don't be telling their friends what their password is. And it's a good idea to have different passwords for your different accounts, and make sure you're regularly changing those passwords as well. Next on the code, we've got Be Internet Kind. So this part of the code's all about children understanding the ways that communicating online is different to communicating in person. So it's all about keeping messages fun and finding all the positive ways to stay in touch with their friends and family online. And even though communicating online is different to communicating in person, some of those same techniques you'd use still apply. So in schools, we always ask children to say it out loud. So thinking about, would I say that to the other person's face? And if they send in a message, thinking about, will that person read the message how I want it to come across? So always thinking about how their messages will come across to somebody else, keeping everything positive and kind. So the final part of the code is Be Internet Brave. So this gives the children the confidence and the space to talk about anything that's been on their mind when they've been on the internet, especially if it's something that might make them feel a bit nervous or embarrassed or unsure. We always say it's best to be brave and talk to you as their trusted adult about it. And they'll be used to the teachers at school checking in on them and making sure that they're all right. So this can be something really useful for you to continue at home. So it can be a good idea to maybe make it a routine part of your day. So maybe when you're out on a walk or when you're having your dinner or your tea, just be chatting about what your kids been doing online, who they've been talking to, what games they've been playing. And then if they do have a problem, they know there's a set time in the day to talk to you about it. So that is the Legends Code, teaching your children the most important skills and behaviours for them to use the internet safely and confidently. So we've been through the code, but you guys do this every day. So we'd love to hear some of your tips and techniques for chatting to your children about what they've been doing on the internet. Now, we've got some ideas and some great resources that we will share, but this stuff isn't always easy. So how do you encourage children to talk about what they're doing online? Once again, any thoughts, any questions, pop them in the chat. I'm going to have a look in there now because I can see a question there. Ooh-doo-doo. Fab. So say hello to Carl's asked, where can I sign up to hear more? So I'm going to share with you at the end of this lots of resources that you can do at home with your family, some activities, some games, and we've also got a parent website as well. So I'm sure Tim can pop the link for our parent platform in there too, in that chat for you. Okay. So now moving on, I want to talk to you about the digital well-being part of the programme. So research tells us that there's no fixed rules when it comes to how much time a child should be spending online. So instead of rules, we want to encourage children to develop their own healthy habits so that you don't have to keep reminding them. So I've got two activities I'm going to share with you what we do in school and what you can try at home if you want to. So the first one is we ask children to track their feelings using emojis. So it might be that they're playing a game and when they start playing the game, they're really happy and excited. So they draw a happy face emoji. And then they might be playing the game and they can't quite complete the challenge, so they're feeling frustrated, maybe a bit angry. And then as they continue to play, they manage to succeed and they draw a really proud emoji. And then by seeing that, you can track how they've been feeling and how that's been changing for them. Another exercise is we encourage children to keep an online diary. So it might be that they're online for a certain amount of time, but they're tracking what they're doing. So they might be spending time doing some schoolwork, and then they might be chatting with friends, then they might be playing games, and then they might be doing something creative like making music or making videos and things like that. So you're seeing what they're doing online and making sure that there's varied online activity, but also there's lots of healthy doses of offline activity too. So that is a whistle-stop tour through the Be Internet Legends programme. Now, Be Internet Legends is taught in 70% of schools, so chances are when you're tackling this stuff at home, you're reinforcing these really, really important messages. So we're launching loads of resources to help out where we can, and we've already got some fantastic things you can do straight after this conversation. So the first one I want to tell you about is Interland. So this is an online game made by Google and Parent Zone, and kids absolutely love it. So as they're exploring Interland, they're facing and completing challenges based on the Legends code. So it's really helping them to become fearless explorers of the online world and having loads and loads of fun as they learn. I love the game. I think it's really fun. Kind Kingdom's definitely my favourite, but I really struggle on Mindful Mountain, so I'd love to hear if you and your children can complete it and how you get on, because I just have no idea how to do that level. But as they say, practice makes perfect. In fact, maybe you could have a bit of a competition with your kids, so maybe see who can get a high score on some of these levels. Maybe the loser has to do dishes or something. Now, if you've still got some energy after adapting to working remotely and trying to get that online shopping slot, we've got some more activities. Now, they're designed to do as a family, and designed to be really fun to do together. Tim's put the link in the chat box for you, and I'll also share the link at the end. And we are launching more and more resources in the upcoming weeks, so do keep an eye on that. Now, we know it's not always easy to keep your children entertained and educated at home, but Be Internet Legends is here to help. It'll help you know that they know how to stay safe and be confident online when they're playing, learning, and staying connected. So before I dash, I'm going to have a little look in that chat box, see what is there. Fantastic. Yeah, so say hello to Cal, was asking is there a parent newsletter or anything, and Tim has popped a sign up link to the newsletter, so if you are interested in signing up to that, you can click there. Also, all the links for Interland, our teaching resources, and the parent page, which has great activities for family, have also been linked in the chat, so do check those out. I'm sure you'll love the resources, and I hope they're useful. So thank you so much for listening and taking part in this conversation. If you do, I always do this, I always have a question after a session has finished. So if that does happen to you, we've got an email address on our screen, and Tim will pop it in the chat box for you as well. So if you've got any question, remember there's no such thing as a bad question, and no question is too small. Send an email and somebody from our headquarters will get back to you with an answer. So do that. If this has been useful, we've got other parent sessions coming up as well. So do let your other parent friends know, because we do want to spread the message of Be Internet Legends across the country. I think that's everything from me. Just going to have another little check in the chat box. Nothing else there. Well, I hope this has been useful. It's been really, really nice talking to you all this afternoon. And yeah, stay legendary. And that's what I always say to the kids. And I'll see you soon. Bye.